Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum. Life Matters. And we continue our conversation with the Islamic Medical Convention's 41st annual this year convention happening in Johannesburg this year. Thank you so much for joining us. And please, please, please tell your friends and family, check in with them and see if they have registered to partake this year in Johannesburg at the Hilton. Right now, we will be chatting to another delegate of the convention, and that is Dr. Shaida Omar. She'll be presenting a very important topic, something that faces us on a daily basis. But let's hear further from Dr. Shaida. Assalamu alaikum to you, Dr. Shaida. Welcome to the Life Matters show.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What an exciting convention we are looking forward to. A must have, not a nice to have, a must to attend, because the convention is offering and providing a holistic, integrated, and comprehensive approach, not only to medical matters, but issues on a daily basis that affects us psychologically, emotionally, physically, and even within our interpersonal relationships. So we are absolutely thrilled and look forward to this great convention, the 41st convention of the Islamic Medical Association.
Awesome. We're also excited and getting ready and geared for it as well. We want to look at the mental conditions that often affect us as a community. And alhamdulillah, last year also you presented a topic, and this year you've chosen cyberbullying. Tell us about this topic, why you've chosen it, and what we can look forward to.
So I think we need to realize that the advent of technology is increasing at such a rapid pace. Even people that are technology savvy cannot keep up with the rapid growth and movement and evolution of technology. However, what we do not realize is that a lot of our children, because of opportunities, there's certainly opportunities for them to grow, develop, and learn within their schooling environment, in the academic institutions. They are exposed not only to the opportunities and the benefits, but they are exposed to so many risks. And something that has become very evident in schools in South Africa, where bullying has been a growing phenomenon, but we are seeing an increased incidence of cyberbullying, online bullying, where there isn't any physical contact, and the effects thereof are long-lasting. The implications are devastating. We have started seeing an increased incidence of suicides as a result of cyberbullying, where children feel trapped, immobilized, unable to seek support or access any kind of intervention. And this is a reality that we need to face. Often as caregivers or parents, we think our children are safe at home. Yes, we think under our roof, they are usually considered to be safer than being outside with their friends in the malls, in their game parks, etc. The reality is that the children are often online, and whom and how they communicate and what information is often shared is actually quite risky and putting our children at great and grave risk. And this is what we need to alert people out there, caregivers, significant others, on the realities of cyberbullying and the effects, and how children are so vulnerable to this kind of bullying and suffering, and of course being violated without parents actually realizing the dangers of online bullying.
Dr. Shaida, we understand that the IMA convention is something of a highlight for the medical Muslim fraternity in South Africa, and I think it is one of the biggest conventions, Muslim conventions in Africa, in my opinion, if I look at it. There'll be various topics to look forward to. What is your message to encourage, the rest of the medical fraternity that might not have registered with the IMA, but also wants to be part of it? They might not be a part of the Muslim, Islamic scholars or, any category of that sort, but would like to still attend and be part of it. What is your message to them?
Well, certainly that it's open to all denominations, to all professionals, medical professionals, allied health professionals, and that this is a great opportunity to acquire knowledge, and also to be empowered in different dimensions. It's a multifaceted, multi-dimensional approach to life. Because if we look at the theme, what does the theme speak to? It speaks to rebooting, renewing, and refocusing. So a lot of the medical content, there's also, other opportunities for spouses, for children, for families. This is a family convention, and the information, the presentations, the workshops all involve and engage people in their daily life situation. Something that, how I think is important to mention, one of the sessions that we are facilitating is looking at the daily challenges, the frustrations that we are faced with, load shedding, and how it impacts on our daily lives emotionally, psychologically, how it affects the interpersonal relationships, the work deadlines, the commitments, and the ripple effect thereof, and the management and solutions on turning this crisis into an opportunity. So as I've mentioned that it's a must attend convention, and it's open to one and all, because it is based on an ecological framework, looking at medicals, looking at health sciences, social sciences, psychological sciences, looking at physiological conditions, but also looking at wellness, the dietary habits, the exercise. So once again, it's holistic.
Dr.
So
Shaida,
to one and all, please attend these holistic opportunities that you will miss out on.
Take us quickly through some of the highlights that you're looking forward to in the program, and then also when you will be presenting the cyberbullying talk.
So firstly, the cyberbullying talk will be presented on Saturday morning in the spouses program, and it's open to one and all. And then if we look at the highlights, just working with diets and how to make it appetizing, looking at exercise, mindfulness, breathing, something that we often forget, the critical importance of breathing, how to breathe, how to manage stress, but also financial literacy. So I think as professionals, health professionals, one is not trained in the curriculum on how to manage finance. And so there are lots of opportunities here. And there are many other presentations. One looks at artificial intelligence, the advancement, the understanding, the implementation, and keeping up with that rapid technology is something that is worth attending for.
Awesome. Dr. Shaida Omar, shukran so much. Your last words quickly, concluding comments before we see you again on Saturday morning.
Well, the last comments is please attend. You will miss out. And we would really like to see one and all, including families, individuals out there. Please attend the convention. It's a great, great opportunity. It's very exciting. And it's one of its, it's on a level that is world class.
Absolutely.
It's one of the best conventions that we are going to be hosting.
Absolutely.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shaida Omar. We'll see you on Saturday morning at the convention, sharp, talking about the cyberbullying and how it affects our community. So much more to include within the IMA 2 days convention. Assalamu alaikum to you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So we will be chatting to Dr. Fahima Ismail, talking to us and taking us through the dentistry program as we highlight some of the programs, very importantly, some of the pertinent topics. And the medical fraternity is really excited. There's so much more that goes into the work of just, talks and an actual convention. It's putting a program through for together for the spouses, for the students. And talking about students, we will be talking to some of the medical students a little bit later on from the IMA, but we'll take a short break and we'll come back with Dr. Fahima Ismail's talk. Stay with us on Life Matters. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Life Matters, because your life matters. In this show, we'll deal with anything from holistic living to wellness to parenting. And in this edition, we're looking at and really gearing up for the Islamic Medical Association 41st convention happening here in Johannesburg. Last year we were out in Durban. What a fabulous time we had at the ocean. and the various speakers, they did take a bit of a break. And as Dr. Wadi said, this has been going on for a long time. It's a family affair. So within the medical fraternity, they come and enjoy with the spouses, with the little ones. Everybody is at the IMA convention. So now we have in studio Dr. Fahima Ismail, who is our dentist we profiled not too long ago on health and wellness, and she'll be taking us through the dentistry program. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to our studios, Dr. Fahima.
Alaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Always a pleasure having you and your followers with us, inshallah. Tell us a bit about your relationship with the IMA. How long have you been with them, and just how important it is for you?
Okay, so I think I've been with the IMA for the last 10 years.
Awesome.
And I really enjoy being with them. In fact, the last convention that was held in Johannesburg, which was in 2018, I headed the dental convention.
Oh, awesome.
So it's something really close to my heart. And this year I'm also really excited because we can't wait to have it on the 23rd and 24th September.
That's a long weekend as well, a Heritage Day. I think it would have been the 24th, but the public holiday is the Monday, so
Yes.
the government is extending it, so all ups to that. So you will be one of the coordinators for the dentistry program, which will be running for the whole from within the 2 days, the Saturday and the Sunday. Tell us about that dentistry program.
Okay, so the dental program will be running over 2 days, which is the Saturday and Sunday. And we carefully selected topics and speakers that will appeal to most dentists across the board. And the speakers are really, really high-powered, and it's something for all of us to look forward to and learn a bit more than what we actually know.
So we know that AI and robotics does play a role now within the medical fraternity, something new that you guys are dealing with. Is that something that will be highlighted and be spoken of within the dental program?
So what's nice is that even though the dental program is structured separately, we do have the opportunity to partake in any of the parallel sessions. So we all welcome to join the AI session as well and the robotics. So we can't wait to hear all of those topics as well.
Awesome.
So what's unique about this convention is that it's not only dental related. So even though you are a dentist, you can go into any other lecture and listen to whatever appeals to you. And that's the exciting part of it.
Just before that, Faiza mentioned something that I want to partake in is the Islamic art workshop that they'll be having, and that's of course open to everyone. So if any of the dentists are interested, they must book.
Yes, and dentists are generally artistic, so I'm sure they all will want to do something.
Yeah. And you have to be animated with your young
Yes.
patients as well. So with the dental program, who will be presenting in the program?
Okay, so we have a few speakers. Some of them, just to mention, Dr. Faisal Mansoor, and he will be talking about financial freedom in your practices. Professor Ahmed Bayat, who is community dental orientated, he'll be talking on whether to fluoridate or not. And then we have also Dr. Chadwick, we have Dr. Jamil Desai. Those are just to name a few of them. But really interesting topics.
How does this appeal to the younger dentist fraternity and students as well?
Okay, so like I said, most of the topics that are selected are what you encounter daily in your practices. And these are things that they would want to know on a daily basis. So for them to attend these lectures, it is quite important.
Okay. Yeah. The Saturday, what time would the programs be starting?
So Saturday programs, we're first going to start off with the parallel sessions, and the dental program would start at about 11 and carry on later towards the afternoon as well. And Sunday also, so it's not a full day of lectures for dental, but half a day and Sunday as well. And like we said, we can attend the other programs. Yeah.
So I see one of the topics you've mentioned was, in the business, and at the end of the day, within dentistry, you know, people are running their practices like yourself. How important is information like that of, you know, knowing how to manage your business when it comes to dentistry?
So I think in dental school, we're not equipped at all on how to run a business. And when we come out into the real world, we only know how to treat patients. And that's where most of our downfall is, because we don't run our practices as a business. So I think that topic is really something to look forward to, because we need to know now how to structure our medical practices like a business as well. Because at the end of the day, you're treating patients, but you're running a business too.
Exactly. So, alhamdulillah, the IMA has really looked deep into some of the programs and
yes,
topics
and then
that
we're also having like a root canal treatments, implantology, caries, which we deal with daily. So it's all relevant topics that we encounter on a daily basis.
And what time would the programs end about?
So they should end at about 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sunday, what time are they starting, and what do the topics include for Sunday?
So Sundays also, it's going to be on implants, on temporomandibular joint disorders, and it will run through also till about 4. So, yeah.
Who should be attending these programs, the dental programs?
So the dental programs, all dentists should come, and you could also register your dental assistants, and anybody is welcome to, but mainly the dentists and dental assistants could attend.
And if they're not necessarily part of the IMA or registered as a member?
So we do have registrations open for non-IMA members, so they can register as well. So basically, all dentists are welcome to attend this convention.
Would it be interesting for another faculty within the medical fraternity to attend?
You could, because medical doctors also encounter patients that have temporomandibular joint disorders, or they might get a patient that complains of pain in their mouth. So it is something that other professionals should also relate to.
Okay. Yeah. And just looking at the informative part of it, is it something that one could learn as a spouse, or just as a one of the children that might think of going in within the dentistry fraternity to attend?
Yes, students could attend as well, or even if the spouse just wants to listen to it, they're welcome, because we're going to be talking about caries, fluoridation, and that impacts on every household. So certain topics would appeal to them, but most of it is generally for dentists to attend. And there are other things in the medical program itself which spouses might feel more comfortable attending those ones.
Awesome. Tell us about the convention itself. I mean, it changes from year to year, and the whole idea is that the family comes along. It's over the long weekend. What information can you just impart to our viewers and those that will be attending with regards to coming with their family, some other activities to get involved in as well?
Okay, so this year the theme is reboot, refocus, and renew. So I think all of us also as a delegation need to reboot, refocus, and renew our intentions. And what's unique about this convention, it's for the family. So come out, make it a weekend away from home. It's a long weekend. Book at the Hilton Hotel and enjoy with your families. There's a kids program, a spouse program, as well as a students program. And the highlight of the event is the gala dinner, which is on Saturday night. Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman is the keynote speaker. And that's also open to the public to attend, so they can purchase gala dinner tickets, especially for that. So it's something to really be excited and look forward to. And it's an interprofessional convention. So it's not only doctors. So doctors, dentists, all allied health professionals and students. And what's nice about it is that this is the only time you get an opportunity to integrate with professors, deans of your faculties, wonderful speakers, as well as alims, alimas, muftis. And from a Muslim health professional, I think that's so important, because we can ask about our daily lives in our practice. How do we integrate it as Muslims? And if we have any doubts regarding any topics, we can also ask for advice on that platform.
Awesome. It looks like Dr. Fahima, you're very excited to be there
Yes.
to integrate all of that. And also some of your fellow colleagues that you haven't seen or friends in a very long
Especially
time.
after COVID, we haven't seen people in years, and most of the online programs, we were forced to do it online.
Yes,
So this is so nice that everybody is going to come out, and we have to get a certain number of CPD points yearly.
That's right.
So this is an opportunity for everybody to get most of their CPD points. And as you know, the Health Professionals Council of South Africa, they are auditing all professionals. So you have to get your points, and here you're going to get at least 16 points, clinical and ethics.
Awesome. And I interviewed, as I said to Dr. Wadi last year, one or two of the delegates that attended, and they said, listen, I'm here for the CBD points, but the lectures and the presentations are so awesome. I'm staying for everything. I can't decide where to go. What
Yes.
to do. Dr. Fahima, we have to wrap up. Your last words to our viewers to look forward to what they're going to see when we broadcast, and those that will be attending.
Okay, so all I can say is that if you're not at the IMA convention on the 23rd and 24th of September, you're really missing out. So everybody from around the country, book your tickets for the convention, and the tickets are selling out really, really fast. So the applications are still open, but get going and hope to see you all, inshallah.
Awesome. Shukran so much to chat to you once again, Dr. Fahima. See you that weekend, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
That was Dr. Fahima Ismail, part of the dentistry program for the Islamic Medical Association of South Africa 41st Convention. Reboot, refocus, and renew is the highlight of that weekend. Over the long weekend, they're coming out with their spouses, so stay with us. Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum, and a very good day to you. This is Life Matters. Just a correction there earlier. We chatted to Dr. Shaida Omar previously, and she joined us earlier in the show, alhamdulillah. But now we'll be speaking to students from the Islamic Medical Association, from the student wing, and they'll be telling us about the experience within the IMA, and also why do you need to attend as a medical student this year's convention, 41st. Taking place over the next 2 days, this coming weekend. Very excited. And all the medical fraternity is preparing for that. So in studio, I have with me Mohammed Rais and Amina Nurbai. Sorry about that. Welcome to the studios, and shukran so much for joining us here. I'm sure you guys are a bit nervous. A bit nervous is an understatement, but you're going to get used to it. You're part of the students wing of the IMA. The IMA is very involved with the health segments of the show. And we hope to see you guys soon in the future. But tell us a bit, and I think first, Amina, if you can introduce yourself. Okay. You mentioned that you're doing chiropractor at chiropractic at UJ. So tell us a bit about yourself and why are you involved in the IMA?
So I'm studying chiropractic at UJ, and I'm the chairwoman of our MSA. Okay. I got involved with IMA actually a very long time ago. Okay. So I grew up being part of the IMA family. I was with the kiddies, then the youth, and now I'm part of the students. And now I'm actually actively involved and a student representative for my university for IMA. Yeah.
And this is like just growing up in the IMA. Eh?
Yes.
So you've seen the growth of the conventions as well. So I'm going to get into that with you. Mohammed Rais, tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Mohammed Rais. I'm currently studying sports science at UJ with the intent of moving into biokinetics, inshallah, when I'm finished. So officially not yet a part of IMA. Okay. But inshallah, once I do start doing bio, I will most definitely be a part of it, because IMA just provides us with that path and opens doors for us as medical professionals. So I will most definitely be looking to join them as soon as
But you're quite involved as a medical student with the MSA at the UJ. Tell us about that.
So currently vice chairman at MSA UJ DFC. Okay. Along with medical stuff, there's not really much involvement, but the charity work that we do is quite immense. Always looking for donations. So I'm going to use this platform to say MSA always needs people. A lot of charity work we do out there. So yeah.
This is a good platform to start then, to voice your to voice your needs. Okay, so we want to get into the convention, but before we do that, everybody's looking forward to talking about that. Tell us about your involvement in the IMA, the student wing of the IMA. What are the main aims or objectives, and what do they get involved in?
So the students, IMA itself was actually started by students many, many years ago.
Okay.
And I think as they grew, IMA grew. And the student division just didn't really take up again until very recently, where we decided students need to get involved and take over now, because there isn't like that stepping stone between the elders and the students. So we're trying to bridge that gap. So the elders are trying to mold us students to be able to take over from them.
Inshallah.
Yeah, so as students, we have, with our MSAs, that's how everyone gets involved.
Okay.
We have health screenings, and students can practice what they're learning in university at the health screenings, where there are professionals and qualified doctors there. So we can learn from them, and then also, as I said, practice what we learn at campus.
Okay.
And specifically for this convention, it's basically planning for the student side of the convention, to planning what students would want to hear, activities, because I mean, students just don't want to sit in lectures the whole day. So
They do it.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for the last couple
we've been
of
doing
years.
it for a while. So, plan activities that students want to be part of, but activities that's relevant. So like, medical 30 seconds and just interactive games along with lectures that would be applicable to us.
Awesome. So, Muhammad Reyes, tell us why a student should be attending the conference.
So the conference itself, there's going to be a whole bunch of medical professionals from all different forms of the medical fraternity, which as a medical student would be something that you really should take part in, to gain that advice and gain that exposure to these people that are already doing what you plan on doing, especially from an Islamic perspective. And being in the medical profession, I think a lot of times you get people who end up finishing their studies and find it difficult to find the Islamic way of doing things. So IMA, this convention, would actually give them a lot of exposure to these people that are doing it, and gain their advice and build these relationships with them, which they most definitely would need to be a part of.
Is that something that the students actually look forward to, interacting with the older medical fraternity, those that have years of experience in something that they may be trained in, busy training in?
Yes, most definitely. And we always try and leave Q&A sessions after speaker speaks, so students can interact with them. And then, I mean, also meal times, tea times. You never know who you're going to sit on the table with or who you're going to sit next to. And the doctors are very friendly. Some of them may not look like it, but I promise you all of them are very friendly and more than welcome to answer any of your questions. So, you can go up to them, speak to them, ask them, especially if you're close to graduating, ask them for advice. Because, after you graduate, a lot of students feel lost and they don't know what to do, what's the next step forward. So doctors are more than willing to give advice.
And I think once you finish study, you get into your intern and you're just so snowed under. You don't have that connection. So if you actually network with some of the doctors, you can maybe latch onto them during your very busy time, and you have a question which you can't reach out to them in the time which you're doing your intern, then you have that contact as well. So tell us about, what are the current projects that the student wing runs with for the IMA? Is it separate to some of the projects the IMA runs with? Yes.
Oh yeah, so currently we got the Cataract project, which involves the MSAs on all the different campuses. Basically just to raise money for IMASA and also to raise money for cataract surgeries for those who are less fortunate. Amina will be able to give you more on the other events that IMA does along with the student wing.
Okay, so take us through some of the, because I know that IMA is very busy and cataract is a very big thing. I was at an event yesterday, Islamic Council of South Africa, and there were also a lot of doctors, part of that organization, and they also do huge, projects with regards to cataracts. So cataracts being one, and then I think lots of highlights around, screening for diabetes, high blood pressure, and with COVID being, hitting us, there was a lot of those patients that had actually fall on the wayside.
Yes. So I don't really know much of the main projects that's held by IMASA because we are part of the student wing.
Okay.
As you were saying, the cataract project. So what they did was they made it sort of a challenge between all the MSAs. So MSA Union was involved, and it was a challenge to see who could raise the most money. So we all raised the money, sent it for to IMA, main IMA, to do these projects. And then at the health screenings, as I said, the students are there to learn from the doctors and to practice what we've been taught. And as I think we grow, we'll be able to have more projects because the student wing is quite small at the moment, which is why we need students to come and attend and be more involved. So inshallah, as we grow, we'll be able to have more projects with the projects that we could run by ourselves as students without having to rely as much on the main.
I'm glad that
elders.
you
So,
put like an
yes.
exciting element, like a competition to the students, because they can't just do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be an
The
objective to
second it
it.
seems like there's a lot of responsibility involved.
Yeah, then they run
it's not-
away.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's make it fun.
True.
What are some of the fun aspects that you do maybe present to the students that it'll attract them to, whether that's the MSA or the IMA student wing, Rais?
So from an MSA side, in the beginning of every year, we have an open day, which
Okay.
is filled with a bunch of games and
Oh, nice.
it's just like a social, if I may say, just so everyone can interact with everyone. Everyone gets to know everyone. Being a Muslim at campus, you usually, especially coming from far, like Amina's come all the way from Nelspruit, so
Oh my goodness.
it's quite difficult when you come to a whole new place to
Yeah.
meet people and all of that. So MSA kind of provides that form of unity and gives you that, family.
Family
if I
away
may
from
say.
Family,
home.
yeah.
Gee.
awesome.
So fun stuff, always fun. Being part of MSA, always fun. There's always
Awesome.
things to do. It's not always filled with responsibility. So
And
yeah.
lectures and
Gee,
talks.
Yeah.
gee.
And instructions. I mean, you didn't mention
Definitely.
that, so I want to touch on that a bit. Being so far away and coming to study here at the University of Johannesburg, was that hard for you to move away from your family and trying to find, a community, a close knit, I think, group of friends or family? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult, but not so bad because I do live with family also.
Okay.
So, and then in terms of campus, as he said, the MSA gives you your family and home away from home. So even on Jummahs, after Jummah lunch, after Jummah, we'll all have Jummah lunch together
Okay.
and just sit and play games or go out. And everyone calls everyone. It's not a thing about, no one cares who you are, what you have. They're very warm and welcoming. And same with the student wing of IMASA. I mean, I met all of these people for the first time maybe last year because we all got involved very recently when the student wing was developing. And when we went for the previous conference in Durban as well, it just felt like I was with a family. Like we traveled together, we would eat our meal together, have tea together. It made it a lot easier having all of these people around me and being involved in the student wing as well as with MSA.
Okay, we'll be talking about the student program at the conference, why they should be attending, what are you guys looking forward to, what are some of the highlights, but more after the short break. Stay with us on Life Matters as we highlight IMASA's 41st convention for this year, 2023. Back in a moment. Welcome back as we wrap up our last few minutes with the students. The student wing of IMASA, Islamic Medical Association of Southern Africa, and we're highlighting their 41st convention. They've been around more than 41 years, but this is just, the highlight of the Muslim Medical Fraternity Convention. I would say it's the biggest convention in Africa, not just South Africa, Southern Africa. But we have in studio with us members of the student wing, and that is Amina as well as Mohammed Rais joining us to tell us about their involvement as well as the convention and what they're looking forward to. Some of the highlights of the convention that you guys are looking forward to, Rais, if I can start with you, Mohammed Rais.
Okay, so as you probably know already, a lot of notable, very highly respected speakers are going to be there.
Yeah.
We've got Dr. Tagari, we've got Sheikh Shakir Bayat that's going to be there.
Yes.
A few others, I don't really remember all their names.
What are you
but
looking forward to?
Dr. Tagari is
Okay.
he's
His talk.
definitely one to watch.
Okay, awesome.
Gee.
And you, Amina?
Personally, I'm looking forward to Appa Shakira Hunter.
Okay, awesome.
She's going to be talking about Dean and your way through university and your journey with Dean actually as a university student.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the art section and some of the parallel discussions and some of the ladies' programs in the other rooms. Tell us about, Muhammad Rai, some of the non-health science students, are they allowed to attend this
Yes,
convention?
100%. It's not just for medical students, it's
Awesome.
for everyone to come.
Okay.
So,
what is your message to them?
look, it's a convention that's there to inspire. So if they're not there currently studying a medical profession, coming to this event may just influence that.
Yeah.
You may just realize that, I'm studying an engineering degree, but I should actually be doing this.
Oh no.
So, yeah.
You're giving parents problems here. Okay.
So, yeah, they are more than welcome to come
Okay,
through.
awesome. Tell us about some of the planning that took place with regards to arranging the student program for the convention.
So planning actually started from last year's convention.
Oh, okay.
We tried to basically get enough students to help with the planning because, as I mentioned earlier, the student wing is quite small, and doing it by ourselves we realized is not going to work. So we needed to get more students involved. So that was basically step one. Then straight after last year's convention, we all sat down and we said, what could be better? What can we change? What would we like to keep?
Okay.
What can we add on? So last year's convention was a 1-day convention for students, even though the doctors had a 2-day convention. So this year, inshallah, the students will also be included in the 2-day convention because we said, you're coming from so far. Some people are traveling from Durban,
Yes.
from
Other
all
provinces,
over, other provinces. We have to make it worth their time. So that's all about the planning. And then we're also having a student dinner. So currently that's what we're trying to plan.
Okay.
It's a bit less formal compared to the main gala event.
course, yeah.
Because, we are students and students just want to be there for the social at the end of the day. So that's basically all about the planning and games and how we can make
the
it
time
interactive.
will come when you need to wear a collar and tie all day long.
Yeah,
Muhammad
definitely.
Rais, talk to us about the theme for this year's convention. What was the inspiration behind that?
So this year we decided to go with renew, refresh, and regenerate.
Okay.
So because of COVID, it was a very bad time for all of us. So we decided to use this theme as a way to kind of renew your intentions, just refresh, start again, just a fresh start, basically, to go with this year's theme.
Okay. I want to look at some of the workshop sessions that focus and addresses the current healthcare challenges from Islamic perspective. Some of the parallel sessions that will be taking place. What in your opinion are, some of the topics that people can look forward to and that can actually dietize for the day?
So for the students, one of the workshops that we have is Standard Bank coming to talk to us. Even though they are having another talk for the main doctors, we ask them to have their topic for students to be separate. So, you can, they can sort of guide students what to do after they graduate, how to manage their finances when looking to open up a private practice. So that's one of the workshops that a lot of students are looking forward to, so they don't feel lost.
So, and that's not something that you often think about or you worry about because, if you are a working student, it's something that you need to know you're managing. But alhamdulillah, some of them are privileged and some of them, have the advantage of having their parents work really hard and support them, but also to have that responsibility of working. How important, I think, Muhammad Rais, I want to touch on as a medical, as a health science student, you still see yourself studying for a very long time. Would something like that help you in looking at some sort of financial backing and planning when it does come to sort of long-term studying and still having to maybe do something on the side?
100%. I know as a biokineticist, these machines are expensive. The learning how to budget for them and getting a practice, getting a place, all of these things are things that we're not exposed to, things that we need all the guidance we can get from. So learning how to budget for it and how to actually get the finances and make that, if I may say, way to get there would really help.
Did you
Very much.
even realize going into the industry that you needed to
Gee.
talk, have conversations like this, be
Yeah.
part of a student association, the Islamic Medical Association? I think from you, as a student, we know that they have very busy lives and they need to keep busy as well. What is your advice to students, to be part of organizations like this, IMASA's student wing, to attend conferences like this and not just attend, but actually get involved? What is your message and your advice to those students who are not actually physically doing that, but they already feel like, listen, I've got so much on my plate? What would you say to them?
I feel like being involved really helps to create a balance. Like, you're so absorbed in your studies, and once that comes to an end, then what? Like, everyone goes in their own direction. So being part of an organization, for example, IMA, it's something there that it's going to benefit you in the long run, and you're going to be with these people for many years. So as I said, it helps to create a balance. It helps you to network, meet other people that can help you in the future. I mean, when you're studying, most of the people in your class are your age. They're your peers.
Yeah.
You don't really have exposure to other people that you can learn from, older people that can give you advice. Being part of these organizations really gives you exposure to all of that, as well as with IMASA and your health screenings. You get exposure to real life situations. What you learn in campus and what you see out there isn't exactly the same thing. What you learn is by textbook, and then you have a patient that's coming in presenting multiple things, and you're like, wait, what? I didn't learn this according to this. You learned ABC.
The practical is very
The
different.
practical
to
situation
learning
is
as
very
well.
different, very different compared to what you learn. So you get exposure to all of that.
Okay. And Muhammad Jais, you being part of the MSA, how would you encourage others to join IMASA, to be part of the student wing? Because as you can hear, they are actually a limited amount of students that's part of it. What is your message to them as well?
So, joining the right wing will honestly, from my side, I'd say join it definitely. Not just because they need the help, but because of, especially as a medical student, IMASA just opens doors, man. They just really, really help with getting your hours in for campus, for your degree and all of that. So joining them would honestly be very beneficial for any student, not just medical students.
Amina, what is in your opinion, sets this year's convention different to other years? Because you've been involved in quite a few conventions.
I would say all the different speakers. We don't get the same speakers every single year. So it's always something to look forward to. There's different workshops, especially now with artificial intelligence coming in, so there's workshops on that as well and talks on that. Just started last year, I think, because of COVID.
Yes.
So that is coming in more, and they're teaching you about new medical technology, the latest of research that's in at the moment.
Awesome. And I think that will be included in every year for the IMA going forward. Muhammad Jais, we need to wrap up your concluding comments and message to the students, because now we're talking to them specifically.
Okay, so for the students, please attend the convention.
Yeah.
Very beneficial. There's going to be lots of tea, lots of coffee, lots of cakes. So please do attend, and it's all included.
Okay.
So not just the responsibility part, it's not all serious, it's mostly a social actually.
Yeah.
If you don't want to come for the speakers, come for the tea time chats.
And the games that you guys will be having, eh?
Definitely.
And on your side, Amina, what can the students look forward to, some of the workshops, the programs, and why they should be attending?
Sometimes students just need a pick-me-up. And after the convention, you just feel very motivated and inspired, not just for your studies, but also in your dean, and how you can imply your dean with your studies.
Very importantly. And I think that's also another highlight, because something that the IMA members, I was chatting to them last week, is that as Muslims, we have to realize that, we are Muslims first before we are, health sciences or, chiropractor or any sort of field you're going into. So really appreciate your time and chatting to us here today. I think, I know I said last words, but from concluding comments, there are lots of students and I think families that will be attending as well. can they drag, a friend and a family member along when they come to the convention? Like you said, there might be someone that's doing engineering, might change their mind about it. Rais, what do you say?
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I would
Okay,
honestly
Amina.
be able to answer better than
So,
that.
gala dinner tickets unfortunately are sold out,
Okay.
but you can still register, and there's lots of parallel sessions. So most definitely they can come along.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll
Because
be something to learn.
Yeah, because there were some inquiries about that, because as we're promoting and talking about it, yes, Hilaal TV, alhamdulillah, will be there broadcasting, but there are other, like you said, succession parallel discussions which will not necessarily be broadcasted, but hopefully we'll record it and play it at a later time. But awesome chatting to both you, Amina and Muhammad Rais. It's over. We really appreciate it, but this is just the top of the iceberg. You're going to be doing this for a very long time, and you're going to be chatting to presenters from the station for a very long time to come. So we hope to see your faces also soon, inshallah. All the best for your future endeavors, inshallah, and may you go really from strength to strength, inshallah. Amen. See you guys over the weekend, inshallah. And there we have it, Muhammad Rais and Amina chatting to us about the student wing of the Islamic Medical Association. Stay with us and be part of Life Matters for this week. We'll be chatting again on Wednesday morning at 9:30 with some of the committee members, the organizers, the conveners, and they'll take us through the exciting program. Once again, there's so much to talk about with this 41st convention happening out at the Hilton. You can and still have time to register and be part of the convention, whether you're within the medical fraternity or not. Follow the IMASA website, Islamic Medical Association of Southern Africa, and we'll leave our details as well if you have on our social media pages. But for myself, Hawa Solomon, have a great day further. Wassalamu alaikum and goodbye for now.